Hi, welcome back to another video. I'm Shazev, and today we have a very special guest on our show who is the co-founder of ADPList. His name is Felix Lee, and we'll just be diving into the vision of his product, that is ADPList, and how did he come across it, how did it all begin. So let's hear that entire story, and maybe it can serve as an inspiration for you of how you can actually find your own product and scale it to have a real global impact. So without further ado, let's invite Felix and talk to him about ADPList. Welcome Felix to the show, and I think we can start this discussion by you introducing yourself, like what do you do and where you're from.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me here. So my name is Felix. I'm currently based in Singapore, and I'm one of the co-founders at ADPList. And our mission is to help democratize mentorship for people around the world and make it accessible. We have been here for about a year or so, and my day-to-day job includes running the product team, the community team, and as well as figuring out the strategy of the company.
Cool. And can you talk more about like what does actually ADPList stand for? Like, is it an abbreviation, and how did you actually come up with the idea for the product in the first place?
For sure. So ADPList in long form is actually called, the first name is actually called the Amazing Design People List. And the reason why it's called that is because initially we wanted to start off with designers and helping designers to support each other during the pandemic, which is why we started it only last year during the pandemic itself. And it has been quite an amazing journey, to be honest. And we sort of said that the goal is for us to help as many people as we want, as we hope we can around the world, and we've done just that, and we're still expanding. And so we always say that we're only at day one of our mission to help democratize mentorship, and it's truly inspiring to be part of this work. And for me, it's just very grateful to wake up every morning and every single day with people like yourself to contribute to the mission. And I think that's something that keeping ADPList really alive as a community.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So for context to our viewers, so I'm actually an ambassador for ADPList, and I'm just helping the mission and spreading the message of mentorship to my region of Pakistan. And let me tell you that Felix is an awesome person to work with. Now we can move on to the second question, that is that ADPList is actually a very pretty international organization with a very diverse team. Like, we have people from different regions of the world. So how did you actually grow and how did you actually scale? Because if I'm not wrong, that the two co-founders of ADPList, they are not even from the same country. Like, you are from Singapore, the other one is from Ghana. So how did you find each other and how did you scale?
Yeah, for sure. So James and I, we found each other during the pandemic, so we have never really met before in person. And one of the things is that we really see that we share common values in terms of looking at education system itself. And James and I, we decided to come together to create ADPList, just because we fundamentally believe that education can be better, careers can be better with mentorship, and that's where we come together. And we met each other through LinkedIn, by the way. And so that's something that was very fortunate that we were able to connect on LinkedIn. Now, obviously, for the rest of the team, ambassadors like yourself, we have the rest of the volunteers, the full-time employees. Everyone is as you mentioned, right, Shazib, everyone is from a diverse background, such a diverse team as well. And the beauty of a diverse team is that you get a lot of different perspective. You get a very big perspective of what people are thinking in different regions of the world, and which is why we want to be able to provide and build a diverse team because of that perspective. But more than just that, racial diversity as well. In fact, more than 80% of the team members actually come from underrepresented group, which I'm really proud of the statistics. We have over like 40% of our team today who are females as well. And we try to ensure that there is a very fair set of diversity across the company and across the team as well. So that we can get a very diverse point of view, that we are creating something for people who are not just privileged, but most importantly, people who are underprivileged, underrepresented, or just needs our support. And so I think that's the beauty of that. And the way we scale that and the way we scale our team is basically by hiring people who are truly passionate about the mission, and more than just hiring, but also recruiting people like yourself, Shazib, who really wants to see that the world is a better place with mentors and mentorship. And so that is how we actually scale a team, right? Including the full-time and the full-time employees and the volunteers and ambassadors. The team is close to about 50 people right now, which is a very big team. And so, and we're still growing, right? And we're still growing fast. And so that is the beauty of it, is that, we don't count the quantity of it, right? But we really, make the quantity count, right? In the sense that, we want the diversity to count more than just the number of people. So yeah, that's a little bit about the diverse team and sort of like the thinking behind it.
Sounds good. So before we move on to the next question, so I actually love the origin story of ADPList, of how it started from a Google spreadsheet. So can you tell me more about why did you start doing that in the first place?
Yeah, for sure. So the reason why I started the spreadsheet was really because, I'm not a developer, so I can't develop a website back then. I'm also not like a hardcore coder or anything like that. So obviously I haven't used Webflow or anything. And so back then for me, I just wanted to help people. And the only thing that I knew was a simple Excel spreadsheet, honestly, right? And I thought a spreadsheet could do the work, right? People could put their name up here. We could help them. If you're looking to help and mentor someone, you can also put your names here. And it's a very natural thing for me to do, right? Like spreadsheet. And so that was why we started spreadsheet. And, to be honest, it was never meant to be like a big startup or company or anything like that. It was just a side project that was meant to help people, which is why it makes ADPList a very different company in many different ways. Because, the people that join us and the people that come here since the very beginning, we don't care a lot about, quite frankly, we don't care about a lot about the business pragmatic stuff, right? A lot of people would ask me, hey, what's the business model? How do you make money and whatnot? Look, to be honest, I'm not keen to answer those questions sometimes. But because the fact is that I didn't start this for those pragmatic reasons. I'm here to help people. I'm here to make the world a better place. And that's what I answer to, right? Probably the only people that I tell them about business models and business plans or whatever is probably the investors or some of the people who really care about that. But besides that, I always tell people, say, hey, look, what I'm doing here, is accessible. My promise is that it will always be accessible to people, right? And, that is the reason why I started. That's the reason why ADPList will always be a different company, because of its origins of a simple spreadsheet, right? I think, for us, the dream of ADPList and the mission started from a very simple spreadsheet. And I think that shows how powerful a simple idea can be.
Definitely. So that is actually awesome to hear. And so I think this is a very good segue to my next question. That is, what are some of the key values you personally wish to promote through ADPList, and how important giving back to the community is for you? Yeah,
so some of the key values that I personally wish to promote through ADPList, I think first is gratitude. Right? I think gratitude is extremely important, right? If someone were to help you, I think it's, you should be grateful for that. And I think on ADPList, there's so many amazing mentors out there that is helping people every single day, truly making an impact. And I think what I really hope to see more of is, that kindness to gratitude, share it forward, right? Whether be it sharing on your LinkedIn or Twitter and said, hey, this mentor helped me, giving a shout out. That mentality of gratitude, I think, is something that I hope to promote through ADPList. The other one is, one of the key values that I hope to promote is, a sense of belonging. And I think there's just so many communities out there, but not a lot of communities really care about what the voices of people are, to be honest. They just do what they want. They just do whatever events or whatnot. And for us at ADPList, we don't do that. In fact, one of the fun things is that I send emails and messages to people who join ADPList today, every single one of them, and that's because I care about their voice. I care about them being a part of this community. And so that's why we talk to them. That's why we try to understand them, not just from a product point of view, but just from a human being. And I think that it's beautiful. It's beautiful that, we do that as a team. ambassadors like yourself and the rest of your team as well, right, Shazid? Like, it's beautiful that we're doing that because we care about the community. We don't just do things for the sake of doing it. And I think that is the value that I want to bring, is that, like, people can belong to somewhere. Your voices are heard, doesn't matter what background you're from, doesn't matter you are rich or poor, or doesn't matter you are like, doesn't matter you are Asian or you're white or anything, right? Or you're black or anything like that. This is a place where people can come here, learn, share, and belong. And I think this is a very important message that I hope to, promote through ADPList. Now, how important, to your next question, how important is giving back to the community is for me? I think that is very important. Like, back to the point, right? I didn't start ADPList to make a profit or anything like that, right? And so from the beginning, it's all about giving back. It's all about giving back, right? And so that's all I can say, right? From the beginning, it's about giving back. In the future, it will still be all about giving back.
That is, I love that. So now, like, can you tell us like where ADPList is at now, and where do you want to see it in the next 5 years?
Right. So today, ADPList is a platform that, really helps to simplify the whole process of finding mentors and connecting with a mentor and meeting a mentor on a video call like this. And, quite frankly, this is what we do best today here at the present moment. But in the future and in the near future, what we want to do is to, allow more ways where people can engage, whether be it with a mentor or even peer-to-peer. We want to encourage more sharing and learning through the platform. And so that's really the future of ADPList, right? It's exciting, it's peer-to-peer, it's very people-driven, and we hope that there's even more sharing going on the platform. And so that is the future of ADPList. Now, I'll share though, like, what is really important for ADPList as a company, as a community, and what is really important for us at the core of everything that we do. One of the things is that, people often talk about, our mission is to democratize mentorship for all, right? And, just earlier last month, towards the end of Q3, I actually sat down and I reviewed our values, our principles, our milestones, and the things that we have learned as a community as a whole. And one of the questions that I hear a lot from people is, how does mentorship empower the education system as a whole, right? And I think that's a great question, right? And I want to share my thoughts on that. One of the things where mentorship is able to impact the world is what we call educational freedom, right? And education freedom is actually an index that is measured, and it quantifies the accessibility for people to be educated according to their personal views or choices, right? Education freedom can vary dramatically across different countries, right? And that is because, some countries get better access to tools and schools and institutions around the world. But there are some places where the government or your parents or your environment actually still has a significant control over some of the choices that you make in terms of education and career. And lower education freedom is only often due to simply weaker infrastructure for access, right? And we fundamentally believe that ADPList at these moments is presented with a unique opportunity to build a shared and modern learning system that works for everyone. And why do I say that? It's because ADPList is uniquely positioned to help increase the educational freedom because of three things. First, mentorship builds an open and global community. Mentorship doesn't really, has any barriers, where you're from and whatnot. It's a very open and global community. Second is that mentorship is unbiased in a sense, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. People are here to help you. It's very unbiased, right? And last but not least, mentorship creates a sense of creates social mobility, right? It enables it, right? There are some parts of the education system where people are very disconnected with the real world, and I think mentorship allow that kind of social mobility to kind of switch careers or even upgrade yourself with skills that are even more relevant. And so the future of ADPList, I think there's so many factors. Mentorship can impact so many factors of education freedom and increasing social mobility around the world. And we believe that it can build a better functioning system in countries with lesser education freedom, especially in the under privileged countries, right? And I think that's what we want to do, right? And I believe that in many ways, mentorship is still very new to the world, still not very understood. And I think, we have a very long way to go, but I'm very positive about the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I truly, truly believe that ADPList, like the team of how hard they work and the work they're actually doing, like that future is not really far away when mentorship is not something new to people. And I can actually advocate for its impact. Like mentorship has been nothing short of transformational for me. Like I have been talking to mentors for like a few months, maybe at the start of 2021, and I'm 10 months in, and and now I have a more mature professional outlook towards my career, and that can only happen before you get insights of the industry, before you actually practicing there. So for me, mentorship is just talking to your future self. I always say that. So in a way, I do truly thank you for developing this product. It has been a very, very essential aspect of my life. And best of luck to you and your team to grow it.
Thank you so much, Shazib, for being a part of the team as well, and obviously having me here. Super excited. So thank you.
So I think that would be all for this call, for this meeting. And again, thank you for taking out the time and just sharing the ADPList story.
No, for sure. Thank you so much, Shazib, for having me, and I hope everything is well on your side.